Okay, story time. This is me. Thank you again, Panda, for the art. For those who don't know, I'm a firefighter. I embrace fitness. I have gone into scary buildings for a job. Not a lot really scares me anymore. Or it takes a lot to scare me, I should say. Like, you've got to go like the dark stairs into an unlit basement kind of thing with a, you know, the light that just flickered out to actually scare me. But I wasn't always like this. See, my brother and I, that's me, that's my brother. We both grew up the skinny, shy, awkward, very quiet, very introverted nerds. And when we finally started making friends, this is circa sixth grade. We lived in New Mexico, which do now, but we were moved out to Oklahoma, and and when we moved out to Oklahoma, we lost all of our friends that we did have. So once again, it was just my brother and I by ourselves. Except when we first moved, our two best friends in the whole wide world came with us and stayed with us for a few weeks. Those two sisters were Aubrey and Heather. Aubrey and Heather came to hang out and just take a little mini vacation. We moved to this small town in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, called Cleveland, Oklahoma. Population like 10 if you count the livestock. Very tiny. So there's me, my brother, Aubrey, and Heather. Now, we've been friends with these two girls for so long. We've been friends with them since before elementary school. And it's great because I'm still friends with them now. They live in a completely different state, but I still talk to Heather at least once a week. Did I draw these when I was a kid? No, I drew them today in a panic just before the stream started because why not? So Aubrey and Heather decided to bring some movies with them for us to watch. And amongst those movies was Scream. They brought Scream 1 and 2. I had never seen Scream. I never really watched a horror movie. And for those who have seen Scream, you're aware that it's more or less a satire of horror movies. Like, it's a scary movie, but it's still, it's satire. I should note at this time that my brother and I were living with our grandma, our granny. She is from Liverpool, England. She is an absolute sweetheart. I love her to death. She is great. That's important to note here. It's literally the four of us kids who were maybe 11 at the time and our granny in this house. And myself, my brother, Aubrey, and Heather, it's like midnight, maybe earlier, like 11 p.m. And I am missing something in the chat. Anyways, so it's like maybe 11 p.m. and we decide to put on Scream because why not? Now, something to note about the layout of this house. I don't remember exactly how it was, so I just kind of gave a rough idea here. We're in the living room right down here. I drew like the little yellow light you see is actually our field of view. Think like the original Metal Gear Solid there. TV's in the corner. The things to note is if you notice where my granny is sleeping is on the opposite side of this small house. You have my room connected to the living room, which leads into my brother's room, which leads into the bathroom. It was a very poor layout, but with all the doors open, we can see through my room, through David's room, into the bathroom. This is important because we have all the lights off. We're watching the horror movie and it's like getting to the scary parts. Ghostface is showing himself. He's killing people. We're all really like scared and kind of huddled up because we're kids. And it's like, what's that sound outside? We're in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. BB Alien, thank you for the follow. So we're in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. This could absolutely happen to us. What if the killer is amongst us walking? We don't know. And it's getting really, really scary. And we're sitting there watching. And next thing we know, the light in the bathroom turns on. And we freak out. There's only 5 of us in the house. One is an overweight elderly British lady who is dead asleep on the other side of the house. And if she tried to walk by us, we would have noticed. And the light turns on in the bathroom. We scream. So what do? While we're scared, we decide to send somebody to go check it out because that's what kids do. Take a guess as to who they chose. That's right, they chose me because they're jerks. So I go through my room, through my brother's room, into the bathroom. And do you know what I found in there? Yeah, there's my little path. Go all the ways in there. Guess what I found? Nothing. It was an empty bathroom. The little tiny window that no physical person could crawl through was still locked shut. Nobody in there. Light switch just flipped up somehow. Scared. I go all the ways back down, turn off the light. We're just kind of freaked out, like, that just happened. My heart's racing, I'm tacky as hell. Like, we're all kind of scared, looking around, and we continue watching the movie. And it is really heating up at this point. The killer's on a rampage. People are dying. Who's next? Will she make it? We are terrified right now. And I will emphasize, this is the first time my brother and I have ever really sat down to watch a horror movie. Any other time, like the family was watching it, it's like, I'm going to go in the other room and play my Nintendo or my Super Nintendo. I don't need to watch this. So, what's up? It gets really intense. 4 of us kids are just huddled together, like under a giant blanket, scared. And guess what happens? The light in the bathroom turns on again. And we scream. Later, dark. We scream. The light turned on again. Guess what? While the 4 of us were scared, they voted me to go check it out again. So my brother and I were in baseball when we were kids, and we still had some of our bats. I didn't know what a gun really was at the time. I didn't have access to one. So I walked into my bedroom, I grabbed the bat like any sensible kid would, and I walked into the perfectly empty bathroom, and I started swinging around like crazy, or swinging the bat around like crazy, almost breaking stuff, just terrified, like pulled the little shower curtain to the side, started swinging in the bathtub. I looked under the sink. I was scared to death, swinging like crazy. So just picture this. 10 or 11-year-old kid walks in the bathroom just scared to death, while my twin brother and my 2 best friends in the whole wide world were huddled up together under a blanket. Hindsight, my brother's kind of a pimp. That was a smart move on your play, or on your part. Good play. Good play. Well done, David. Terrified to death. I then went in my brother's room, started swinging like crazy, checked under the bed, went into my room, checked the windows, checked under the bed. Everything was locked. I don't know how that light turned on. We were still scared. But we finished Scream 1, we finished Scream 2, and all I can say is those 3 were jerks for sending me alone to go check out the bathroom twice. Dick move, guys. We finished Scream 1, we finished Scream 2 without any more bathroom light turning on randomly interruptions. I went and laid down after all was said and done, scared to death, probably took years off my life, and I cuddled with my aluminum baseball bat and stayed up all freaking night. I was so scared. I was just like, Please? Please leave me alone. Take my brother instead. The end. That is the story of my very first horror movie.